welcome back inside the Sudbury Community Arena. Sudbury Saturday nights. Last night we were saying, hey, Friday nights, no better place to be in the Sudbury barn. We can finally say that we're doing a game in Sudbury on a Saturday night. I guess it's the only home game of the season for the Wolves on a Saturday night. Jeff Giffen alongside me. It's great to be here again.
Yeah, great to be back for another night. Not the result the Wolves were looking for last night, as they fell to the Erie Otters by a score of 6-3. But hey, 24 hours later, it's a brand new game, a brand new night. Some new line combinations that we'll talk about as we get going here. The Wolves are going to start with a line of Clayton Henderson, although the difference there is Henderson on right wing tonight, and on left wing it'll be Jan Hovan. So a little bit of a change, and they're going to go up against a really, really dynamic forward line for the Saginaw Spirit. Banoff on one wing, Klepov on the other, and Zhilkin on the other. Three highly skilled players who will dabble into a little bit as the game goes on the kind of talent that those three have.
Starting goaltender for the Sudbury Wolves, it'll be the young kid, 16-year-old Owen Leonard, 1-3-1-0. And on the other side of things, Stefan Shurigan getting the start for the Saginaw Spirit. As this game is officially off on your Sudbury Saturday night, puck is inside the Saginaw zone. Henderson going to be quick on the forecheck, as the Wolves appear to be in real good spirits coming into the game this evening. Obviously leaving last night behind, and clean slate on this Saturday night. Saginaw into the Wolves' end right now, but not for long, as the puck takes a bit of a wicked bounce right back into their own zone. Barabanov moving it forward for the Saginaw Spirit, eventually getting into the Sudbury zone. First shot's going to come, and it's a good pad save for the youngster Leonard. Wolves take the puck right out of their own end again. Henderson, backhand saucer dish over to Chitteroni, who tried to fire a shot from an odd angle. Did not end up on the net. Walton inside the Saginaw zone. A wrister goes, and it's deflected wide. And the Spirit with a chance to move it. They do. Lobbing it. Walton put a stick way too high, and so Saginaw's going to touch it, so play will continue as the Spirit go for a full line change. 1 minute and 10 seconds gone in this first period. Walton goes for a skate for Sudbury across the red line, has his stick lifted. Nearly put himself offside. Wolves forced to come back in their own end. Provorov up to Barahowski. Barahowski with Chitteroni, and offside. A pretty easy offside call for the linesman as we have an early stoppage.
Yeah, pretty good start for the Wolves. Good to see, talked about Rowan Henderson being on the starting unit tonight, and there's a young kid, still 17 years old, with an A on his jersey, and fans love him here. He plays hard. That's what you're looking for out of the whole team tonight, and he had just a really energetic shift with a hard forecheck to set the tone tonight.
So face-off was won by Saginaw. They get the puck back into the Sudbury zone. Yules is on it, the veteran defenseman for Sudbury. Over to Brady Smith. Smith cross ice to Yules. Yules along the boards, straight up, deflected into the Saginaw zone by Chase Coughlin, who's on the third line tonight for Sudbury. Ferran on the forecheck for the Wolves. Yules, a shot from the outside. That one's blocked by Cloutier of the Spirit. Puck goes around the Saginaw net. Kept in, though, by Sudbury at the blue line. Provorov cross ice to Yules, deflected in front. That one did not miss by a whole lot, and Brady Smith will be forced to come all the way back for Sudbury. Smith moving it forward. Yules is going to get off for a change. Smith dumps it in, goes for a change himself as Chase Coughlin's on the forecheck, overskated the puck. So Saginaw will take it right back into Wolves territory. First man on it, Liam Lads for Greater Sudbury, as a stick is shattered and the remnants are hanging out in the Sudbury zone right now. Hudson Martin going to fire it into the Sudbury zone. Saginaw gliding out of their own ends, across the center ice area. Harper will leave it for Sema. Another shot, good stick save for the youngster Leonard. In net tonight, 16-year-old for the Sudbury Wolves. Puck still hemmed inside the Wolves' end. Wolves just trying to clean up defensively here tonight. We had a flurry of goals in the early stages of the game last night as the Erie Otters were in town. No goals yet here this evening. Saginaw still dancing around inside the Wolves' ends. They're controlling the play right now. Harper from the blue line. Shot comes deflected into the corner. Provorov is going to be nailed from behind, and he ended up getting sandwiched between a couple Saginaw players. The Spirit will maintain possession. Saginaw playing the board game right now. Pass comes out in front. 2 shots for Saginaw, 0 for Sudbury. 3.5 minutes gone in the first period. Saginaw going for a line change. Get some new forwards out there, fresh legs. And we got a whistle on the play, hand pass, I believe, with 16:24 to go in the first period. So Saginaw building a little bit of momentum early on.
Yeah, Saginaw with some early pressure. Thought that might be a whistle for too many men as the Saginaw player played it with his glove down to the stick, but it was just a glove pass. There were 6 Saginaw players on the ice, although one was leaving as that play materialized.
Face off just outside of the Saginaw zone, won by Sudbury. Ewell's all the way back now without any hesitation. Pops it back into the Saginaw zone. Henderson, who I love to call Speedy Henderson, because, man, once he gets flying, he can really move. He gets the puck back to the blue line. Odell cross ice to Ewells, who shoots it. That one's blocked. Henderson picks up the loose puck. Another shot deflected over the helmet of the Saginaw goaltender, and I think we're going to have I'm not sure if it's going to be a high-sticking penalty or not, but...
No, just a high stick.
Just a high stick.
Puck was knocked down in front of the net by a Wolves player, and it deflected to another Wolves player. But you know what? Good idea. Henderson picks up the puck facing the wrong direction, heading toward the Saginaw blue line from inside the zone, and just kind of turns and fires it at the net. A little high, and that's why you got the high stick. But that's what the Wolves were sort of reticent to do last night. So if they can fire some pucks at the net, you never know. Get a bounce and could change the game.
Saginaw will get it into the Sudbury zone. Chitteroni back to help out defensively. Wolves just chip it out. Does it have enough for icing? No, it does not. Play will continue. James Go, the defenseman back there for the Spirit, being worked on by Barahowski. Barahowski and Walton, as Jeff alluded to. We can touch more on this in the next break. Some serious line juggling tonight for the Sudbury Wolves. Puck kind of stops in the neutral zone, and speaking of a stoppage, we have a whistle on the play right now.
Yeah, so the line you're seeing right now, it's Walton on left wing with Chitteroni and Barahowski. That's essentially your first line tonight. Clayton, Chauvin, and Henderson would be line 2. Line 3 is Ferran playing center tonight with Coughlin on right, Dean on left. And the fourth line, which will be a bit of an eye-opener, Nate Villeneuve, the center on the fourth line with Braden Bennett and Vladimir Provorov, 2 highly skilled rookies. Obviously a message, not to sugarcoat it, from last night's game where Nate Villeneuve, the captain, took a misconduct penalty and was out of the game at 13:26 of the third period.
Saginaw inside the Sudbury zone. They got a shot off. It went wide of the net. Leonard was down and was ready to make the save. Another shot coming and another save made. Owen Leonard, the youngster, the kid, the 16-year-old, one of the youngest goaltenders in the Ontario Hockey League right now, to be playing actively, just made another big save.
Yeah, he's looked good so far. Had to make a few, not spectacular saves, but good positional saves, and that was another one.
Face-off will be inside the Sudbury zone. And there is a Sudbury penalty. So this is a Saginaw power play. I actually missed when the penalty happened. It was just a few seconds ago, really, because the penalty is only 13 seconds old. So Saginaw is on a power play. So checking to the head. 2-minute minor on Gonchar. Saginaw moving the puck around the Sudbury zone. Opportunity comes, pass out in front. Leonard was down. Spirit could not get the shot off. Pretty good setup on the power play. Saginaw moving it around, and now the puck is going to get stuck in front of the Wolves bench, and Alex Ferran is getting mixed up with one of the Saginaw players. And look out. Bit more of a crowd forming as Chase Coughlin is in there with Gervais, and it was number 4, Levi Harper, a name which I feel like we might be saying a lot tonight. Coming into this game, ranked number 4 among defensemen in the Ontario Hockey League. He's also number 3 ranked rookie in the OHL 2 overall. He's a defenseman.
Good young player.
Still on the power play for Saginaw. Again, it was a check to the head on Artem Gonchar, who scored twice last night for the Sudbury Wolves. He's now sitting in the box. Face off inside the Sudbury zone. Draw one cleanly by the Wolves, and Odell fires a backhander. Just barely squeaks out, picked up by Henderson. Shorthanded opportunity for Rowan Henderson. However, stick was lifted, ran out of real estate, and the Spirit will be able to move the puck right back into the Wolves' ends. Zhilkin for Saginaw, cross-ice pass, and a good one to Barabanov. Barabanov back to the blue line, Harper. Harper moves it forward, waiting for a pass again. Barabanov Can't keep the puck inside the Sudbury zone, and good active kill right now for the Wolves. I feel like that sense of urgency that we're seeing from the Wolves, I know they're on a penalty kill right now. We did not see a whole lot of that last night. So a little bit different looking Wolves team so far this evening. Speaking of which, Coughlin, shorthanded opportunity into the Saginaw zone. Pass out in front, a shot, and a pad save made by Shurigan. Close call. First save he's had to make so far this evening, and that was a biggie. Wolves back in their own end. They fire the puck the distance as the power play has about 20 seconds left. That was a big save.
Yeah, big save. Nice pass across from Coughlin to Ferrand, and he got a pretty good chance on net, but couldn't get it past the goaltender.
Saginaw back into the Wolves end. Power play ticking down as look out. Puck is going to be fired the distance, and that'll do it as Gonchar steps out of the box. Back to even strength. Saginaw winding up in their own zone, nearly coughing it up. That was Cloutier. Cloutier skates around the Saginaw net. Up to Rauscha. Cloutier receives a pass again, dancing his way into the Wolves' end. Looked like it was nearly offside, but play will continue. No whistle on the play. And Trevor O'Dell with a big hit on Graydon Jones, and another big hit in deep. But here's Saginaw, a shot. It goes off the goalpost. You can hear that ring from up here. Saginaw comes close, but the Wolves with two thunderous hits as the physical intensity picks up a little bit early in this one. The Spirit back the other way into Wolves territory, getting a full line change rolling. Artem Gonchar. Quick up to Chitteroni, and Walton goes for a skate. Nifty little dancing move into the Saginaw zone. He'll take it around the Saginaw net. Handing it off to Chauvin. Chauvin cuts across the middle. Puck trickles into the blue paint, and the goaltender Shurigan, who has seen a lot of time so far this season, makes a good save.
Yeah, Wolves are going to get a power play here, I believe, or is it the other way? Yeah, it is a Wolves power play. They had the puck. I just saw Chauvin was skating right toward the penalty box, but he's actually just going to the bench, so looks like it's going to be Go, who will go off for Saginaw. And you mentioned the goaltender, Shurigan. He played on Thursday night as well as pretty much played every game for Saginaw this year. Played Thursday in a 2-1 overtime win in Barrie, stopped 38 of 39. So big effort for him on Thursday night, and he's back in the net here on a Sudbury Saturday night.
And his first save was a big one. A 2-on-1 rush for Sudbury. Alex Ferran got the stick on it last second. But yeah, he has seen a lot of time, Shurigan has. He's ranked number 2 in the league when it comes to minutes played in the OHL this season. So obviously Saginaw coaching staff showing a lot of confidence in the kid.
Well, you got a good when you play him, right? That's the Wolves haven't found that guy who's taken over the net so far, and that's why they're playing 3 of them. So
play continues. Wolves want to draw inside the Saginaw zone. Still tied up at 0s if you're just joining the broadcast tonight. Jeff Giffen, myself, Brian Cooper, glad to be hanging out with you on a Saturday night. Wolves set up on a power play. Gonchar, cross ice pass to Chitteroni. Rister comes, deflects way wide into the corner. Barahowski will put it back to the blue line. Gonchar was waiting. Gonchar, Chitteroni, cross ice pass to Walton. Walton ran into a wall of Saginaw Spirit forward. Walton, backhand pass to Chitteroni. Chitteroni back to the blue line. Walton's waiting. Walton to Gonchar. Gonchar trades places with Walton. Gonchar, quick up to Walton. Walton makes a nice move to get around his man. Pass out in front. Puck trickles dangerously in front. Chitteroni standing there. And he's going to be ushered out of the Saginaw crease. Good-looking power play tonight for Sudbury.
Yeah, not an amazing scoring chance, but some good puck movement. Both Kieran Walton and Chitteroni with some good stick handling to evade players and make solid passes, a couple of sauce passes across. And they get the puck to the net. Now they got to put one in the back of it.
And you know what we just saw from that power play? We did not see it really at all last night here at the Sudbury Community Arena. So a different looking team tonight so far for this Wolves club.
Well, they're playing well, and so far number 89, Nate Villeneuve, has not stepped on the ice. So lined up as a 4th liner tonight, and so far has not seen a shift. So he may be sitting a period tonight as a result of the discipline that we talked about.
Well, play continues. Braden Bennett on the forecheck for Sudbury. And the puck will not be kept in. Hudson Martin all the way back to Provorov. Power play has 40 seconds left. So this is power play unit B for Sudbury. Henderson with Provorov. And Kieran Walton's going to stay out there. But look out, a shorthanded opportunity for Saginaw. Cloutier into the Sudbury zone. Cloutier cross-ice pass, and a blocker save made by Leonard. Desperation move, got the job done. Kieran Walton back the other way. Here's Walton, who leads the OHL in shots on net. Back to Gonchar at the blue line. Walton wanted to shoot, gets it back to the blue line. Gonchar, big slapper, pad save by Shurigan. Walton back to the blue line. Gonchar, fake shot, pass anyways. Another pad save for Shurigan. Puck bouncing into the corner. Bennett back to the blue line. Gonchar, right back to Bennett along the boards to Henderson. Another shot, easy glove save for Shurigan. As really no traffic in front of the net, but again, good looking power play for Sudbury.
Yeah, really good looking power play. And sometimes, you can gain some momentum off a good power play that doesn't score. Obviously, you want to put it in, but in that case, the Wolves snapping the puck around, we just didn't see that last night. They were not a sharp team last night. First period a little better last night than the second by far. The second period was a rough one, so the Wolves have to just keep this going and play a full 60.
Face off inside the Saginaw zone.
Or 65, as the case may be.
Yeah, that's true. We're going to do a redo on the face-off, and the puck is won by Sudbury. Gonchar caught it just inside the blue line and kept it in. A little backhand pass that goes around the Saginaw net. It's Coughlin, look out, big collision. We've seen a few of those hits early in this first period. And Coughlin takes a stick right after the fact that goes unnoticed by the referee. Another shot from the Saginaw Spirit, and look out, Coughlin's going to be met by Levi Harper. Those two continue to have a conversation, and then Barch steps in. Blake Clayton as well, so things heating up a little bit. And we have seen, that was another part of the game last night we did not see a lot of from Sudbury, was that physical intensity.
Physical intensity and discipline as well.
And discipline.
I give Chase Coughlin credit where it's due. He's had some issues with that in his career, but that time he went over and I thought, oh no, what's he going to do? He just went over and he said something, and that was it. Skated away. And that's obviously how he has to play.
Well, play continues. Wolves get it out of their own zone. Barahowski all the way into the Saginaw territory. He's run in too hard by Valeris. And now there's a pile up in the corner inside the Saginaw zone. Ethan Dean been singing his praises as of late. Really liked his game for Sudbury. Grinding away over to Barahowski, who puts it back to the blue line. Lads for Sudbury. Wrister comes deflected off of Clayton, right in behind the Saginaw net. 9:20 to go, by the way, in the first period. Tied up at zeros. At the blue line is Lads. Lads gets a wrister off, and it's blocked. Back the other direction comes Nick Sema. Nick Sema cuts across the middle, tripped up, no arm in the air. Play will continue. Sema looks at the referee. No call. As Blake Clayton is on the forecheck deep inside Saginaw zone. Barahowski stays out there. He's been out for, I feel like, a couple minutes now for the Wolves. Saginaw unable to get it into the Wolves' end. Ewells all the way back for Sudbury as a defensive change happens, and look out. Wolves cough the puck up in their own ends. That one from Chauvin, and now Saginaw has full control of the puck. If you're Chauvin, you just want that puck out of your zone right now. But Saginaw takes it around the Sudbury crease. Still maintaining possession. The Spirit hanging on. Here's Gervais back to the blue line. Shot comes, and a good glove save for Owen Leonard. And now Trevor Odell and Cloutier have a little conversation. So this one's turning into being a feisty first period as Chitteroni steps into Cloutier as well. Cloutier challenging Odell. Look, he did kind of like the half glove drop, and nothing more comes of that.
He challenged him well after the scrum happened, though. So it's one of those situations, we talked about it last night, where Erie, they had a real tough, rough game in Erie, the Wolves and Otters, and then last night not as much. And, same thing with Saginaw. You only play twice a year, once in each building, and you wouldn't expect that there's enough there to have sort of a rivalry, but for some reason, sometimes it can just happen that way.
Face off just outside of the Sudbury zone. Wolves win it. They plop it right into the Saginaw zone. In fact, it lands right in the crease of the Saginaw net. And again, a little extracurricular conversation that time between James Go and Rowan Henderson, but they skate away from each other.
A good start for the Wolves. 11 minutes and 51 seconds into this opening period. By this point, last night against Erie, the Wolves had a 2-0 lead, which ended up evaporating. But I really like their start here tonight. They're playing a lot more disciplined type of hockey, and I mean discipline, not just physical, but with puck management as well.
Play does continue just outside of the Saginaw zone. Wolves nearly put themselves offside. Coughlin had to hustle to touch up, and he did. Wolves are on it. Back to the blue line. Yules. Cross-ice feed to Odell. Shot purposely wide of the net. Takes a weird bounce. And the Spirit will lob it to the center ice area. Odell all the way back with Yules. Yules being pressured by Cloutier. Cloutier still out there. Him and Odell meet up again. And here's a shot for Saginaw out in front. Nice pad save for Owen Leonard. My goodness. Great save for the rookie. Keeping this one tied up at zeros. Puck back into Saginaw's end. James Go putting the reverse lights on. Quick forward pass to his defensive partner, and he'll go for a skate into the Sudbury zone. Here comes Saginaw. Wrister up high, and another glove save for Leonard.
Leonard's had a real good start to the game. One of those funny plays across the ice from us, the Saginaw bench, the puck went right to the forward door, which it always, when you're a coach, it drives you crazy, but the puck always wants to go there when you're on a line change. It went there into a bunch of feet, and you could hear a bit of a buzz from the crowd, but when you did a quick count, there was actually only 4 Saginaw players on the ice. So it wasn't too many men, that's for sure.
Face off inside the Sudbury zone with 7 minutes remaining in the first period. Wolves stretch pass for Dean. Ethan Dean, a shot. Lost a stick. Great opportunity for him. And actually the lost stick is from the Saginaw player. Lads, another wrister comes. Blocker save for Shurigan. Rebound and a pad save again for Shurigan. Wolves are coming close. Right now it's Bennett, Provorov, and Dean on the ice. Still have yet to see a whole lot of the captain. In fact, I don't think he's taken a shift yet. Puck is buried inside the Saginaw zone. Wolves have had some quality scoring opportunities. Saginaw 2. And now referees are going to blow the whistle. I think it was just buried in along the boards for maybe a little bit too long.
I think the back referee has a holding call. Kimmerly is going to send someone off.
Okay.
Looks as though it's the Saginaw door opening, so the Wolves are going to get another penalty. You mentioned Ethan Dean with sort of a partial break. He had a man on him but was going down the left side. A pretty good shot that missed. Ethan Dean, a former second-round pick of the Wolves, 36th overall in the 24 draft. Last year, mostly on the fourth line, a little bit of penalty kill, kind of in and out of the lineup at the start of the year, but really in the last 10, 12 games has come on, and a player that, with that high pedigree, is only going to get better as time goes on. So it's good to see him getting ice.
So Wolves on another power play, 0 for 1 so far. They're set up inside the Saginaw zone. Gonchar again at the blue line. Gonchar loves to shoot. Looks back to Walton. Walton, one-time shot. Blockers save for the goaltender Shurigan, and Saginaw, without any hesitation, will lob at the distance. Look out, Leonard came out to play it, but the puck was in that scary zone in the corner where he couldn't touch the puck. Fortunately for him, the Wolves come back. A 3-on-2 rush on the power play. Here comes Barahowski. Pass out in front. Blockers save made by the goaltender Shurigan. And Saginaw, shorthanded, will opt for a line change instead of a partial break. Gonchar comes all the way back. Drifting his way out of the Wolves' ends. Little drop pass, and there's the captain for Sudbury. Villeneuve, his first shift of the night into Saginaw zone. Nate Villeneuve back to the blue line to Gonchar. Gonchar, big slapper. That one had some heat on it, and no rebound on the play off the goaltender Shurigan. Now we got some pushing and shoving. Cloutier mixed up again, as we've seen a lot of him so far this period for Saginaw.
Yeah, absolutely. So Nate Villeneuve, his first shift of the game on the power play, and he almost lost the puck inside the zone. I would have felt bad for him in that spot, but it actually hit him and went back into the corner, and as a result, back to the point, and a pretty decent scoring chance for the Wolves.
Face off inside the Saginaw zone. Wolves on a power play for another minute, if not less, and Saginaw doing a good job controlling, and they fire at the distance. These two teams played each other. Obviously, they play each other twice a season. Last year, Saginaw won both of those games. Saginaw, if you remember, were a powerhouse last season with some high-quality players last year. Puck is back inside the Wolves' end as the power play is ticking down to the last 30 seconds for Sudbury. Walton gliding his way and mishandles the puck, so Saginaw will turn it right back, shorthanded. Harper, a little backhand shot that goes right over the net of the Sudbury crease. And the Wolves will look for the loose puck, but no, Cloutier comes all the way back into the Saginaw zone, killing off more time on this PK. Good play there by Cloutier, and that'll pretty much do it. As big number 5, Josh Glavin, standing ready to come back right back onto the ice. Back to even strength as Glavin is on the bench for Saginaw. 4 and a little bit to go in the first period. Tied up at zeros. Alex Ferran, forward pass to Walton, who now gains some speed. Walton drop pass, shot comes from Coughlin. It's deflected into the mesh and out of play.
Yeah, Coop, you're talking about Saginaw having some high-end players over the last couple of seasons, dating back to their 2024 Memorial Cup win. Last year, Michael Misa, 65 games played, 62 goals, 72 assists.
Unreal.
For 134 points, and of course was a second overall selection of the San Jose Sharks. Has played 7 games so far in a Sharks uniform, but unfortunately, about a week or so ago, had an injury sustained during, my understanding was not in a game, but in a practice situation. And so he is off with a lower body injury. And really interesting at this point in mid-November, what do you do with that player? Does he stay as an 18-year-old in the NHL? Not eligible for the American Hockey League. So it's either Saginaw or San Jose at this point. And you know, you also wonder about the World Junior Hockey Championship.
That's true.
A player that Team Canada could obviously use.
Which, scarily enough, is not that far away.
Not far away, a month and a half. Which means Santa's coming pretty soon.
That is also true. Gotta work on my list. I know fans here tonight are wishing for a win, that's for sure. Face-off inside the Saginaw zone, won by Sudbury. Even strength, nobody in the penalty boxes. Nate Villeneuve is out there again for Sudbury, though, to take his second shift. Saginaw will control the play, though, out of their zone, all the way back into Wolves territory. Things heat up a little bit. Saginaw just barely keeping it inside the Sudbury zone. Ewells will just hammer it around the boards, and Glavin will fire it in as Glavin and Coughlin meet up with a little brief conversation. Sometimes wonder what, even those brief interactions, what is said between the two players.
I think it was something about pizza after the game. And,
it's possible.
yeah,
it's possible.
Not together, mind you.
No, that's right.
What's the best spot?
That's right. Face off just outside of the Wolves' end. Saginaw wins it. 3.5 to go in the first period. Still awaiting our first goal. Shots 10 for Sudbury, 9 for the Spirit. Chase Coughlin, a backhand flipper, just tried to get it out, but it's still stuck inside the Wolves' end. But now an opportunity for the Wolves. Puck flipped into Saginaw's zone. And Saginaw will move it out thanks to Gervais. Gervais dropping for Papoy. Pass across, broken up by Villeneuve. Villeneuve will fire it around the Sudbury net, picked up by Gonchar, who again scored twice last night for the Sudbury Wolves. New York Rangers prospect. Wolves clean it up. Henderson winding up at the Wolves blue line. Goes across the center line into Saginaw's zone. Gets a shot off, and the goaltender Shurigan did that nervous look down, left, right, but he held on to the puck.
Yeah, Hendo tonight playing on the right wing, or at least that's how he started the game. And in that particular instance, he was going down his wrong wing, so kind of took the shot as a left-hand shot and got off a really nice snapshot right into the goaltender's midsection.
Face-off incoming, 2:45 to go in the first period. Clayton asked to step out, so Dean will take the draw for the Wolves, and he wins it cleanly. Henderson back to the blue line. Hudson Martin of wrister coming, deflected just into the far corner. Ewells gets a rebound. Lots of bodies crashing around the crease in the Saginaw zone. Henderson again with authority back to the blue line. Hudson Martin. Martin, a wrister purposely wide. Tight checking Saginaw club right now, too. At the blue line is Yules. Yules is barely keeping it in. Henderson back to the corner. Rowan Henderson with speed back to Yules. Hudson Martin gets a wrister high into the glove. Stefan Shurgin, so he is also dialed in. I know we were talking about Owen Leonard, but Shurgin's made some good saves too.
Yeah, both goalies have been equal to the task so far. 13-9 the shots on goal in favor of Sudbury, and no goals so far. You mentioned Brody Hepway a minute ago. Interesting story that kind of did some research on him. He was a free agent invite to their development camp, Saginaw's, back in April. And then Dave Drinkle, the GM, invited him to the main camp in the fall, ended up making the team, and now he's a W prospect for Central Scouting.
It's amazing, eh?
Very cool.
Play continues. 2 minutes to go in the first period. Saginaw getting it out. Leading rookie scorer in the OHL, Klipoff, leading the charge for Saginaw. The Spirit move it around. And a good active stick there for the Winnipeg prospect, Kieran Walton. Over to Yules, back into the Saginaw zone. Yules wisely puts the brakes on and holds his post at the blue line. Chitteroni will chase it down deep. Chitteroni for Sudbury. Quick up to Jan Chauvin, and he overskated the puck without knowing, so back the other way comes Saginaw. A really good back check for Chitteroni as well. Saginaw, though, inside Wolves territory. Here come the Spirit. Backhand pass out in front, and a good poke check for the goaltender, Leonard. Another pass out in front. Another good save for Leonard, and now we got a pile up in front as bodies are flying. Chauvin mixed up. Villeneuve in there, too. We got a helmet off, and we got a pile up. Leonard skates out of the crease. We got someone in a headlock. Again, two teams that don't see a whole lot of each other. I'm not sure if there's going to be any penalties from this, but just some extra pushing and shoving. Doesn't look like it as everybody separates.
Gavin Yules was the Sudbury player who was the recipient of a nice headlock from the Saginaw skater, and not really a player that you normally see in that type. I mean, good, honest defenseman in front of his net, but not exactly a goon type player, and nothing will come of it.
Face-off will be in the Sudbury zone. Villeneuve for Sudbury, and it'll be Geldarts for the Spirit. Draw is won by Saginaw. Again, still awaiting our first goal of the night. Wolves will kick it free, literally. Villeneuve sprung the other direction. Villeneuve backhand pass to Lads. Wind up slapper, blocker save for Shurgin. And Chase Goglin will throw a hit as Saginaw skates out of their own zone. Villeneuve on the back check too. Lads around the Sudbury net. He winds up for a skate. Lads across the Wolves blue line, cross the center into Saginaw's zone. Gets a wrist shot as well, and Ferran standing right in front. Now another pile up as Coughlin is there. Ferran, Villeneuve. A little bit of pushing and shoving. Villeneuve and Gervais having a conversation, and referee stepping right away. So slowly at the tail end of this period, things heating up a bit.
That's been a pretty good period, really. It's been much a much better played period than most of what we saw last night, and I mean by probably both teams. Yeah, quite frankly. So
we're seeing a back check tonight as well from Sudbury that I feel like we didn't see last night.
A lot more structured for sure.
Face off inside the Saginaw zone with 35 seconds left in the period. Wolves retreat back in their own ends. Ferran, backhand pass looking for Villeneuve, and it's stolen by Glavin. Glavin to Rauscha. Gervais, cross-ice pass, and Cloutier couldn't hang on. He's running too hard by Yules. Saginaw will maintain possession inside the Wolves' end. Rauscha, cross-ice to the far corner. At the blue line is Glavin. A wrister comes, deflected in front. Leonard, I think, made a blocker save, and Yules will skate it out. Final seconds ticking down. Maybe one more chance for the Wolves, as Villeneuve was in deep. And Rauscha will move it out across the center line. You're going to hear the buzzer right now. And that'll do it for period number one. A late extra nudge from Cloutier on Gonchar after the buzzer. Gonchar looked at him with a bit of a smirk, and Cloutier kind of responded with a smirk of his own. So setting up what could be a pretty fun second period. What do you think, Jeff, after period number one?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've kind of described it right through. It's a good start for Sudbury, one where they really needed a bounce back tonight, and it didn't have to be a 3-0 lead after the first. It just had to be a more disciplined, structured type of game, and I think that's what they gave Coach Barney. I'm pretty sure that he probably had a few words after last night's game, or maybe knocked over a garbage can, whatever it was, in the dressing room, and you can tell that the team has responded. They're being a little simpler, chipping the puck in deep when they need to at the right times, making plays when they have opportunities to do that, and obviously tracking back and being in a good structured position inside their own zone. So all that winds up to be a 0-0 tie after one period of play.
And look at the shot clock. Sudbury 15 shots on net after the first period, 10 for the Saginaw Spirit. Jeff and I will take a break, 0-0 after period number 1. We'll be back in about 15 minutes time or so, ahead of period number 2. You're listening to Wolves Hockey.
databases of skilled laborers in mining, manufacturing, and industrial sectors in Canada, Lavaire's approach ensures faster talent identification and better job fits. Whether you're seeking recruitment support in general labor or construction and mining, our expertise will equip you with seasoned professionals that align with your requirements. Talk to us today.
1993 has been a trusted name in the automotive industry in Southern Ontario for over 3 decades. The dealership was built with a vision to provide exceptional service and high-quality vehicles to the community. With community and customer satisfaction, Royal Nissan offers a wide selection of new, premium Nissan vehicles, catering to a diverse range of preferences and needs.
December 13th at Sunbury Community Arena. Get your tickets at starsonice.ca.
sandwiches or at concession 2. 1 for $6.49 or 2 for $12.99. Get them while they're hot.
Welcome back inside the Sudbury Community Arena. Brian Cooper alongside Jeff Giffen. Tied up at zeros at the end of period number 1, but the shots, man, a combined 25. 15 shots for Sudbury, 10 for Saginaw. I feel like we're in for a heck of a second frame here.
Yeah, the leading candidates for 2 of the 3 stars would be the 2 guys in the crease. It's been a real good game for Owen Leonard, the 16-year-old rookie netminder for the Sudbury Wolves. As you said, 10 shots on goal, equal to the task on all of them. And I thought maybe not any A-plus type saves that he had to make, but certainly some Bs and B-pluses. And at the other end, a goalie who in Sherigan, who was pretty darn good in Barrie, allowing just 1 on 39 shots on Thursday, and so far 15 for the Sudbury Wolves, and he has put up the goose egg. So entertaining first period, well played by both sides, and looking forward to what's to come in the next 20.
Henderson, Clayton, Barahowski to take the face-off for Sudbury. On the back end, Gavin Ewells and Martin. Face-off is won by Saginaw, and we are underway for period number 2. Saginaw dumping the puck into the Sudbury zone. 5-on-5 hockey to kick things off in this frame. Barahowski cross ice to Ewells, who overskates the puck. And the Spirit with a chance to move it back inside their own zone. Jilkin is going to go for a skate right into the Sudbury end of things. Clip off, the rookie forward. Dangles his way into the Sudbury zone. Saginaw trying to get a shot off, and he fanned on it, so Barahowski will pick up the loose puck. Cross ice to Henderson. Henderson's going to go off for a change. And Saginaw will not change yet as they move things out. Nearly taken away inside the Sudbury zone. Puck comes back. The young goaltender Leonard plays it along the boards for Walton. Walton quickly up to Chedoroni. Chedoroni to Chauvin. Chauvin down the wing. Around the Saginaw net. Back to the blue line. Shot for Godchar comes. Picked off by the Saginaw forward. That was Nikita Klepov. And Martin will come way back for the Wolves. Now, stretch pass. Walton breakaway. Kieran Walton, a backhand. And it's a save for the goaltender Shurigan. Close call. Little forehand, backhand magic for Kieran Walton, and a good save for Shurigan. Erie taking the puck right back into the Sudbury zone. Good pace to kick off this second frame. A breakaway opportunity for Walton. Gonchar breaking loose up to Walton again, who again leads the OHL in shots on net. Just had another there. Another pass across for the Wolves, and it's broken up by Saginaw. Knuche, who was mixed up with a whole bunch of players in the first period, takes the puck down the wing. A shot from an odd angle. Pad save made by Leonard. Wolves with another stretch pass. Villeneuve all the way into the Saginaw zone. And linesman, I believe, is going to call that as offside.
I want to focus on a little bit on a play that broke Kieran Walton free on that breakaway. He might have hit the post. I heard a little ting. Might have been his stick that hit the post. I'm not 100% sure, but it was a pretty good backhand attempt on the goaltender. But the play that made that breakaway happen was actually Hudson Chitteroni. Right at the center ice red line along the boards, puck shot up from the defender, and just the way he angled himself and angled his stick, it was a deflection pass and right on the tape of Walton and broken free.
Saginaw inside the Sudbury zone after a face-off win. They move it around, trying to get the first goal of the night here. 2.5 minutes gone in the second period. Saginaw at the blue line. Shot comes deflected wide right onto the stick of Nate Villeneuve. Villeneuve trying to get a stretch pass. It's picked off by James Go of Saginaw. Oh, another dangerous pass out in front. Shot comes. Good save for Leonard, who came out and read that one beautifully. And he's made some really high-quality saves as the Wolves take the puck back into the Saginaw zone. Not for long. They're forced to retreat. Smith for Sudbury. Stretch pass. And I wondered if they're going to call that icing, but play continues. Throwing a hit was Alex Foran. Chase Coughlin takes a hit up high from Go. And Coughlin looks at the referee. No call. Stretch pass as Coughlin goes right off to the Wolves bench. And so some of the heavy hitting picks up right away. Inside Wolves territory is Clayton for Sudbury. Quick up to Villeneuve. Villeneuve backhand pass to Henderson. Henderson waits for a man open. Gets a shot off. Easy stick save for the goaltender Shurigan. Puck is deep inside the Saginaw zone. And the Spirit will now move it out thanks to Igor Barabanov. Shilkin to Barch as the Spirit move the puck around. Yules, one of the veteran defensemen for Sudbury, cannot clear the zone. Yules will get another chance, but he lets it go for Hudson Martin. Out in front, the puck squeaks free finally onto the stick of Clayton. Clayton's going to ice the puck. And so a face-off as a result will come right back into the Sudbury zone.
And so that top line for Saginaw, we talked about the highly skilled combination of three players, and one of those players, Nikita Klepov, 17-year-old winger who was drafted in the first round of the CHL import draft. He's Russian-born, but listed as Deerfield Beach, Florida, as his hometown. Played last year in Sioux City of the USHL, and one of 27 players that was rated an A prospect for the NHL entry draft in 2026.
It's a good player, that's for sure. Play continues inside the Sudbury zone. Yules up to Dean. Dean, a little backhand flipper pass to Henderson, who's into the Saginaw zone. Bodies fly in front of the Saginaw net. That was Clayton who took a tumble. And this time it was Shurigan, the other goaltender, making a big save.
Yeah, it's an all-goalie game so far. 17-12, the shots on goal, early stages of period 2, and still looking for our first goal of the hockey game.
So Chauvin's going to stay out for Sudbury. Or they're going to have a little break in the action with 15:52 to go. Seems to be a little bit of confusion on the ice right now, and Leonard was all the way on the way back to the Wolves bench, and now he's told to, nope, turn around, go back. And the ice cleaning crews had come out. I think there was a little bit of confusion there. They came out to clean the ice, and now they have been ushered back, so no, play needs to continue.
Somebody jumped the gun, or jumped the shovel as the case may be.
Face off inside the Saginaw zone, won by Sudbury. Shot came from Walton High, and he did not miss it by a whole bunch. Wolves will keep the puck inside the zone. Chauvin on the forecheck. Throws a hit on Go. And Saginaw's Josh Glavin will move it out. Stretch pass into the Wolves' end. Icing is waved off. The Spirit are on the forecheck. Again, 0-0. Almost at the 5-minute mark already of this second period. Here's Saginaw, a shot from the blue line that goes wide. As Liam Ladd sends his man flying into the boards. That player was Sebastian Gervais. And now a pile up in along the boards as well as Chitteroni works on his man. Barahowski quick up to Walton. Walton off the boards, trying to find Chauvin, but he overskated that one. And so Saginaw, another chance to put it right back into the Wolves' end. Cross ice pass. Cloutier was, well, what appeared to be all alone, but that pass was not on the tape. Puck goes just behind the Sudbury net. Saginaw moving it around. At the blue line is Go. James Go. Drop pass for Barch. Barch will just send it around the Sudbury net. Lads is on it first. And then Chauvin throws a hit to try to make the play, but Saginaw will find the loose puck. James Go along the boards, eventually around the Sudbury net again. Pep-Boy, I should say. Back to the blue line. Opportunity for a shot coming, deflected into the corner. Leonard's down on his backside. Looked behind him for a second. Puck was in the opposite direction of the ice. Saginaw, good pressure, spending a lot of time inside the Wolves' ends. Wolves players are a little bit gassed right now. Go. Sending a shot purposely wide of the Wolves' net. And Saginaw doing a great job keeping the pressure inside the Wolves' end. Go at the blue line. Harper, cross ice feed at the blue line again. Harper will receive the pass. Saginaw, another shot purposely wide, picked up by Barch and along the boards. Barch around the Sudbury net. Pep-Boy twisting and turning. Pass out in front, picked off by Zhilkin. Saginaw all the time right now inside the Wolves' end. Fans getting a little bit restless. Zhilkin twisting and turning. Now a Wolves player has lost a stick. Another shot comes out and there's a save for Leonard, and the Wolves will come right back as Walton goes off for a change. Man, those players have been out for quite some time, and it's all five that are going for a change.
But they survived, and because they had some pretty good structure, blocking shot lanes, and as a result, managed to survive about a 3-minute shift inside their zone.
Puck is back inside the Wolves' end, and Ewells, as there's a shattered stick inside the Sudbury zone as well to make things more interesting. Ferran will skate it right back. Another shot, pad save for Shurigan. Close one, as Shurigan almost didn't see the first shot come about. Saginaw will skate it right back into the Wolves' ends. Icing not called. Hudson Martin takes a thumping in behind the Sudbury net. And a couple heavy hits being thrown as well, with 12 and a half to go in the second period. Saginaw trying to break this no score thing. Wolves would also love to get the first one in front of their home crowd here tonight on this Sudbury Saturday night. Villeneuve back into the Erie Saginaw zone. It was Erie last night, Brian. Let's get it straight here. Saginaw exits their own territory. Eventually into the Wolves' end. Zhilkin takes the puck in along the side. Fans continuing to be a little bit restless. Pass out in front of the Sudbury net, picked off by Coughlin. Coughlin to Villeneuve. Villeneuve and Coughlin, a backhand pass that was beyond his reach. Ferran, a shot wide. Villeneuve nearly deflects it towards the net. Here's Gonchar, waits. A wrister that, man, goes through about 5 different skaters. Ferran picking it up. Now Sudbury with a chance. Winds up, fake slapper from Ferran to Lads. Wrister comes, blocker save for sure again. Big battle in front of the Saginaw now. Now a player's dumped, that's Coughlin. Harper and Coughlin in front of the Saginaw net being watched carefully by the referee. Gonchar at the blue line. A stick explodes. Wrister comes. Goaltender Shurigan not needing to make a save. Good pressure right now from this line for Sudbury. Liam Lads cross ice to Villeneuve. Villeneuve can't shoot, and the Wolves cannot keep the zone either. So there's a shattered stick in the Wolves' end, and now a shattered stick in the Saginaw zone. And the Spirit escape their own end. Look out, back the other direction comes Sema. Couldn't get a pass in front of the Sudbury net. Sema back to the blue line to Barnes. Barnes will drop for Barabanov. Cross ice dish. Shot was taken. No glove save needed from Owen Leonard. And play just continues. Approaching the halfway mark already of the second frame. Man, what pace in this period. Saginaw going the full distance. Gellart, cross ice pass. Picking it up was Sema. Sema will put it around the Sudbury net. And Hudson Martin nearly gets nailed by not just one, but two Saginaw skaters. Barahowski inside the Saginaw zone to Clayton. Clayton comes back to help him out. Clayton, a shot deflected high into the glass. And so the Spirit will be able to move it out, but not too far. It'll be kept in by Henderson. Henderson, a shot purposely wide of the net, takes a wicked bounce. Clayton was standing there looking for a rebound. Henderson back to Martin. Wolves will have to touch up, otherwise that was going to be offside. And Geldart for Saginaw got a little bit tangled up in front of the Sudbury bench too. So we just continue to tick on here with 9:45 to go in this second period. Henderson taking a thumping near the Wolves bench as well. Saginaw back into the Wolves ends. Hudson Martin takes his man out with authority. Chauvin breaks loose out of the Sudbury zone with Henderson. Hudson Martin again. Man, he's been out there for quite some time for Sudbury. Hayden Barch, though, back into Wolves territory. Barch from the outside, a shot that's blocked by young Hudson Martin. Barch gets run into by Ewells. Ewells looking for a man open as the Wolves just try to get out of their zone, and they do thanks to Barahowski. He needs to hustle off to the bench. They go for a change, and Saginaw trying to capitalize on that, but a good steal for Smith of Sudbury, who fires it around the Saginaw net. Chauvin first on it. Chauvin gets hit hard by Cloutier. Saginaw gets out of their end, but they put it right onto the stick of Liam Lads of the Wolves. Here's Lads. Backhand pass over to Smith. That shattered stick still out there. And it's finally picked up by the referee. Man, we've had quite the stretch here without a whistle. Fans getting into it at the Sudbury Community Arena. Lads gliding his way into the Saginaw zone. Chitteroni unable to get a shot off, but takes it around the Saginaw net. Where is it? Takes a wicked bounce, and look out, a one-on-one rush, possibly two-on-one for Saginaw. Shot comes deflected into the mesh and out of play. Man, what a rally back and forth for what felt like the last 4 or 5 minutes, non-stop action.
Yeah, just going on for a long time. And, you know, when you're a player like Chase Coughlin, who plays a gritty and, you know, kind of in-your-face, get under your skin type of game, you don't always get the penalty calls that you hope for. But he and Levi Harper in front of the Saginaw goal were just abusing each other. It was back and forth between the two of them to the point where Harper actually broke his stick on a cross-check on the back of Coughlin, and still Chase didn't draw the call. So I don't know, right now Nathan Villeneuve having a chat with the referee. I wonder if that's maybe what that could be about, because I don't know what you have to do to get a cross-checking call. If you tap a player's stick and break it, the opponent's stick, it's an automatic call. In this case, a cross-check where you break your stick and no call. So
shout out to Dan, who's the voice in Jeff in my ear tonight, who said that was a 7-minute stretch.
Crazy.
Without a whistle. Shout out to you, Dan. We appreciate that. And I said it felt like 4 or 5, and he said no, it was 7 minutes.
Entertaining back and forth.
Crazy stuff.
A couple chances on both sides.
All 4 lines were rolling.
For sure. And talking about Harper, you mentioned him earlier, 19 points as a defenseman on the season. 2008 born and a late 2008 born defenseman who obviously has skill at the other end of the rink, but you could see what he does in front of his net as well. So a young player to watch for sure.
Play continues. Face off inside the Sudbury end, won by the Wolves. Coughlin will fire it deep inside the Saginaw zone. Ferrand out there too. These three have come together, Villeneuve, Coughlin, and Ferrand. They bring some grit and looking to bring some scoring touch here as well in this second period, which has 8 minutes left. Puck back into the Saginaw zone. Coughlin on the loose puck. He overskates, and Harper will pick it up for Saginaw. The Spirit get to the center line. Barabanov pokes it back into his own end as the Spirit will just try to move it around. James Go will go for a skate, getting it up to the center line. Igor Barabanov around the Sudbury net. Shots 23 for Sudbury, 13 for the Spirit. Wolves back in their own end. Ewells will do what James Go just did and will be off for a little skate. Ewells, a shot comes. Easy glove save for Shurigan, who just shuffles it off into the corner, wants to keep this play going. Saginaw through the neutral zone, jumping into Wolves territory. Opportunity coming perhaps, picked off by Villeneuve. Good back check from him. who hands it off to Gonchar. Gonchar breaking out of the Sudbury zone. Gonchar 1-on-4. Artem Gonchar, who scored 2 last night here at the Sudbury Arena, blows a tire, and Villeneuve came back to help him out. But Saginaw with a rush into Wolves territory. Opportunity to the side of the net. Shot comes. Leonard made the save. Again, made that look right behind him. And now we got some extra pushing and shoving, as I believe that's Brody Pepoy and Villeneuve pushing and shoving. And Villeneuve continues to have a conversation with pretty much the entire Saginaw bench.
Now that's part of Nathan Villeneuve's game. Obviously got a little carried away last night and ended up with a misconduct, but he has to be a physical, in-your-face type player who has high-end skill as well. And as long as that's under control, then he can be super effective, which is why he's captain of the Sudbury Wolves, why he's drafted by the Seattle Kraken, and why he's been a difference maker in the time he's been in this game tonight.
Well, face-off will come inside the Sudbury zone. They were set up on one side, and now the referee said, no, actually, that's the wrong side. We need to go to the other one. So that's where we're at now. Face-off, won by Saginaw. They got a shot off, and it went wide. Puck is loose, picked up by Pepoy, taken down by Clayton. No call on the play. Clayton and Pepoy continue to push and shove. Saginaw keeping the puck alive inside the Wolves' end. At the blue line, another shot from Saginaw, picked off by Sudbury's Henderson, who will chase the puck all the way back into the Spirit zone. Saginaw, forward pass, deflected into the Sudbury end. No icing called here. A little bit over 6 minutes to go in the second period. Martin forward skating for the Wolves, crossed the red line, tried to dump it in deep, actually hit the back end of Sebastian Gervais, and so it comes right back onto the stick of Lads for Sudbury. Barahowski does like a fan shot, gets the puck into the Saginaw zone. And back the other direction comes Kluche. Kluche spinorama move at the center line to Gervais. Gervais will wait, gets a shot high and wide. Kluche with the loose puck around the Sudbury net. Pass out in front. Good active stick for Chitteroni. A bit of a blind pass for Saginaw, and the puck will escape the Wolves zone, but picked up by Barch at the red line. Barch to Kluche. Forward pass to Gervais. Another shot high and way wide, but just barely kept in. No, not for long. Chauvin back the other direction into the Saginaw zone. Chauvin puck dribbles off the blade of his stick, and he waits for some help from Chitteroni. Chitteroni works on his man at the blue line. Smith for the Wolves. Chitteroni will wait for the puck around the Saginaw net. Backhand pass to Chitteroni. Walton, another shot. Stick save made by Shure again. Walton trying to beat the goaltender down low. At the blue line, Yules. Rebound is there with under 5 minutes to go in the second period. Still 0-0. Saginaw breaking loose out of their own ends. Maybe we're in for another 7-minute stretch here, Jeff.
It could be.
It's a good thing I brought Halls tonight. Puck inside Wolves territory. Smith, the defenseman for Sudbury, over to Yules, who coughs it up. Look out, Saginaw with a chance as the Wolves were scrambling a little bit in their own end, and they escape unscathed. Walton to burst his speed back the other direction. Kieran Walton using that big frame wraparound opportunity, gets the puck right back to himself. Walton for Sudbury. Cuts across the middle. Puck on a string right now. Where is it? Stick lifted the last second, and so Saginaw will come back the other direction. 3-on-2 rush developing. Here comes Harper. Cuts across. Shot blocked by Alex Ferran, and he'll poke it up to Coughlin. A 2-on-1 rush the other way. Coughlin cross ice to Villeneuve. Couldn't get a shot off. Wind up slapper for Ferran, and it's a save for the goaltender. Shurgin, and Coughlin was standing right there. Oh boy, as he stands up, the puck was sitting right beside the post.
One of those situations where it was kind of a bad thing that turned into a good thing. It was a pretty bad change by the Wolves as a couple of players went off, but as a result, the puck went up ice. It was essentially a 5-on-3 going up ice for Saginaw, but when the puck turned back the other way, it was a 2-on-1 for Sudbury, and as a result, they almost had a glorious chance, but just the pass was just in the skates of Nathan Villeneuve, and he couldn't quite kick it up to his stick in time.
So the Saginaw Spirit, much like the Erie Otters from last night, had a pretty crazy road trip, as you can expect when they come to this side of the border. Saginaw is actually going back down Highway 17 to play the North Bay Battalion tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock before they head home for once the weekend is over.
It's a big trip north, and with a Sunday afternoon game in North Bay and then having to head all the way back to Michigan, that's going to be a long bus ride.
And then school Monday morning.
And of course now with the time change, it's dark at 5 o'clock. So by the time they get out on the bus, it's already dark. That's a completely, I don't know what it is, 8-hour drive in the dark.
Stack your pillows. Jeff and I each did those travels for a couple of years with the Wolves. And you bring whatever you can to be comfortable as you can on the bus. Doesn't help when you're like me and you're tall. I will say that.
I wouldn't imagine, no. I think I slept about 20 minutes in 2 seasons.
For me, I just hope that I had a couple seats to myself. Saginaw back into the Sudbury zone. A shot came as, look out, Zhilkin and Coughlin looked like they were going to drop the mitts against each other for a second. Villeneuve back the other direction. This one's been getting a little bit feisty as there were a couple left hooks thrown between Zhilkin and Coughlin with the clock sitting at 3:41. And Wolves coaching staff liking what they're seeing from Coughlin and Villeneuve right now. Looked like they're going to stay out, but no, now they're going to change as Henderson, Barahowski, and Clayton step out.
Yeah, I mean, you have to move forward quick, right? A little bit of discipline, a little bit of accountability on the part of Coach Scott Barney, and he's got those players turned around. He's got them back in, full bore, back into top-line minutes, and that's where they belong.
Play continues, and Blake Clayton with a thunderous hit inside the Saginaw zone. That time it was Graydon Jones, the recipient, as he's kind of checking himself out there, saying, wow, okay, didn't see Clayton coming out of nowhere. It's a good hit. We're seeing a lot more of that physical intensity tonight from Sudbury that, honestly, we did not see last night at all.
No, you just didn't seem to see the same urgency that you see tonight, and like we said earlier, the same structure, same attention to detail. They just seem to be a much different team tonight. They just have to find a way to put one past the goaltender who's red hot.
Face off in the Saginaw zone, won by the Spirit. Wolves do a good job pressing the play. Cross ice pass from Walden intended for defenseman Martin. Went behind him, but he'll just turn around and whip it back into the Saginaw zone. Jones for Saginaw. Cross ice to James Go. Zhilkin dancing his way into the Sudbury end. Cross ice feed to Go. Forward pass off the stick of Martin. But now Saginaw, both teams looking for the first goal here tonight. 0-0. Late in the second period, has about 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. Saginaw putting the pressure on. Opportunity coming perhaps at the blue line. Barnes, a wrister purposely wide. It goes all the way around the Sudbury net. Goal's going to be worked on by Hudson Martin. Zhilkin around the Sudbury net. Good pressure from Saginaw. At the blue line is Zhilkin. He's hit hard by Clayton. Saginaw keeping it to the outside. Wolves doing a good job, active sticks. Here's Zhilkin, though, to the side of the Sudbury net. Pass out in front. Good stick lifted there by Gonchar to prevent that one from going in the back of the net. Wolves now a chance to escape, and they do, thanks to the captain, Villeneuve. Villeneuve will go straight off to the Wolves bench. Exactly 2 minutes to go in this second period. Saginaw in their own end. Stretch pass. Went past the skates and stick of the rookie skater Klepov, and so that's going to be an icing call made. Faceoff comes back into the Saginaw zone.
Saw a little bit of the skill from Dima Zhilkin, young player for the Saginaw Spirit, who's going to have to stay out on an extended shift here due to the icing, but just turned 17. He's expected to be a top pick, not in next year's NHL draft, but the 2027 NHL draft. Not a big guy, but very dynamic.
Face off inside the Saginaw zone. Won by the Spirit, but not able to get too far as Henderson finds the loose puck. Henderson worked on by Go. Wolves do a good job pushing the pressure. Ferrand is in there for Sudbury, out there with Coughlin. At the boards, Ewell's pass out in front. Coughlin deflected it last second. He looked skyward as he knew he had a golden opportunity. Kind of sneaking in the back door. Goaltender was looking the opposite direction, but the puck deflected into the mesh.
We talked about it last night, Coop. It's when you're on a 7-game losing skid, you got to work for everything, and the hockey gods are not going to make it easy for this team. So, just keep working. 26 shots on goal with 1:34 to go in period 2, and still a tie hockey game, still anyone's game to win, and the Wolves really need this one.
Face off inside the Saginaw zone as Walton and Josh Glavin have a conversation. Face off is won cleanly by Sudbury. Gonchar at the blue line, up to Walton. Walton lets it go for Chitteroni. Into the corner. Walton digging for a loose puck. Cross ice to Villeneuve. Villeneuve trying to find someone open. Villeneuve will wait. Toe drag. Shot comes. Rebound off the goaltender. Hewells to the side of the net. Walton puts it back to the blue line. Gonchar to Walton. Walton cross ice dish. Picked up by Hewells. Hewells around the Saginaw net. Chitteroni throwing a hit in the process. Loose puck will be found by Hayden Barnes. Gonchar across the center line. Saginaw jumping into the Wolves' end. Sema cuts across the middle. Shot comes. Pad save made for Leonard, who continues to be solid as well for Sudbury tonight. Just the 16th shot of the game for Saginaw. And again, Sudbury's got 27 now, as we are officially in the last minute of play of this second period.
Not normally a place where I would put a lot of praise or keep accolades on, but I have to give it to the guys in stripes so far in this game too. There's been some chippy play. There's been reasons to maybe call the odd penalty, but really they've let it go since the 13:35 mark of the first period. We've not seen a power play. Maybe I'm going to jinx it, but 2 power plays for Sudbury, 1 for Saginaw to this point in the hockey game.
We said that last night too, eh?
Yeah, that's right.
The penalties started happening. But play continues. 35 seconds left. Puck inside the Wolves' end, just in behind the Sudbury net. 1, 2, 3, 4 bodies, make that 5, 6. Finally, the puck squirts free. Harper at the blue line, skates his way in. He's running too hard by Henderson. In there to work on the puck was Hudson Martin, and Alex Ferran breaks loose. He's going the distance into the Saginaw zone, puts the brakes on, blows the tire, hands off to Henderson. They'll pass out in front. Coughlin could not tap it in. 10 seconds left. Saginaw back the other direction. Maybe one final opportunity for them. Harper in the corner. He runs into Hudson Martin. Final seconds tick down. Maybe one more quick shot. No, does not happen as Valeris had it. And another crazy second period as look out, Harper and Coughlin collide. And they will skate off as Harper goes straight down the tunnel towards the Saginaw dressing room. Crazy period again, Jeff.
Yeah, just well played again. Another scoreless period. We'll do the game summary. There isn't one. 27-16, the shots on goal in favor of Sudbury, but other than that, no scoring, and nice little rush at the end of the period by Alex Ferran, who I think has had a pretty good game tonight himself. Always at his best when he's moving his feet and using that big body to really make it difficult on opposing defenders, and that's what he did on that particular instance.
And you know what? I think it's good to bring some attention to the both goaltenders as well. Sure, again, I mean, yeah, he's faced 27 shots now in this game. And on the other end of things, the young 16-year-old kid, Owen Leonard, who's holding his own too.
Well, Owen Leonard, for me, right from training camp, has been solid. He doesn't look like he's 16. He doesn't seem like he lacks in any kind of confidence. He doesn't seem to get down on himself. And just square to the puck, he's made some positional saves. He's made some, I think, brain saves where he just anticipated the play well and has really, in my mind, had a very solid outing so far through 40 minutes.
All right, well, that is it for 2 periods of play. Jeff and I will be back in about 15 minutes' time for third period action. Tied up at zeros after 2 periods of play. You're listening to Wolves Hockey.
Lavera's reputation is hinged on the commitment to match exceptional talent with opportunities in the mining sector. With one of the most extensive databases of skilled laborers in mining, manufacturing, and industrial sectors in Canada, Lavera's approach ensures faster talent identification and better job fits. Whether you're seeking recruitment support in general labor or construction and mining, our expertise will equip you with seasoned professionals that align with your requirements. Talk to us today.
Stars on Ice, a special holiday performance. One night only, December 13th at Sudbury Community Arena. Get your tickets at starsonice.ca.
Here we go, Sudbury, please welcome back to the ice, your Sudbury Wolves!
Welcome back inside the Sudbury Community Arena. Brian Cooper alongside Jeff Giffen. The 22nd meeting between these two in Northern Ontario since the 2002-2003 season. Saginaw and Sudbury. How many goals do we have tonight? 0. Tied up at zeros after 2 periods of play. Last night was a very different story here at the Sudbury Arena, but tonight, man, this is one of those games. You said it off the air. You said, you know what, sometimes a 0-0 hockey game can be kind of like, yeah. But tonight, man, it's been nothing short of exciting.
I think it's been a really entertaining hockey game. Just we haven't seen the puck go in the net, but we've seen it get close a number of times. Both goalies have been really good, not stupendously spectacular. There haven't been a whole lot of 2-on-1s and breakaways and those type of chances because both teams have played pretty sound, and these are not two of the top defensive teams in the OHL, but they're two teams that have played well tonight, and it's up for grabs in the final 20 minutes. The Wolves really need it, and I think they kind of deserve it the way they've played so far, but you still got to put that black thing in the puck in the mesh.
Well, it's going to be Barahowski, Anderson, and Clayton to start off for Sudbury up front. Liam Lads and Gavin Ewell's in the back end. Here we go, third period action. 2 points up for grabs tonight. Whole period left to play, tied up at zeros. Shots 27 for Sudbury, 16 for Saginaw. Buck deep inside the Sudbury zone. Ewells has his stick lifted last second. And so Saginaw with a shot. It was either off the side of the net or the left pad of Owen Leonard. Either way, it stayed out as the Wolves are able to get it out of the zone. Henderson chipping it into the Saginaw end of things. Picked off, though, by Barabanov. Barabanov up to Zhilkin. Stolen by Walton. Walton creeping into the Saginaw zone. Shot by Barahowski. No traffic in front of the net. Pretty routine glove save for the goaltender, Shurigan.
Yeah, I think Barahowski knew Walton was heading toward the net, but there were 2 Saginaw players in the way and probably was hoping for a rebound, but just got it up a little too high, and it was easy for the goaltender to glove down and get a stoppage in play.
Face off inside the Saginaw zone. Again, Shurigan, the goaltender for Saginaw tonight, ranked number 2 in the OHL for minutes played among goaltenders. And he's played just about every game this season so far. Walton for Sudbury, going to take the draw. Does not win the faceoff. However, the puck takes a really weird bounce right towards the crease, and so we've got a whistle on the play right once again.
Hudson Chitteroni's second game back after a 8-game injury, and he's looked really good. Maybe a little sluggish last night in his first game back. Didn't have his feet under him, but he really looks like he's skating well tonight.
Face off in the Saginaw zone, won by the Spirit, and a glove save after a shot from basically outside the blue line. So a few of these outside shots coming in. And Owen Leonard that time doing what Shurigan said, I'm not going to take any chances on that one.
Wolves looking to find a way into the win column tonight, and they will continue the homestand with a Wednesday night game this week. That'll be a 7:05 start against their Central Division rivals, the Barrie Colts, a team that there's no love lost between these two teams, the Wolves and Colts, and that should be a barn burner here at the Sudbury Arena. Again, Wednesday night, 7:05, and then it's the defending, these are the 2 years ago defending Memorial Cup champs, and on Friday night next week, it'll be the Memorial Cup defending champs, the London Knights.
Another good one. If you can be at the arena, greatersudbury.ca/tickets. Play continues inside the Sudbury zone. Saginaw, they've got control of the puck right now, firing it back and forth, but Sudbury doing a good job keeping things to the outside. The Spirit move it around. And it's stolen by Walton of Sudbury, doing a little dipsy-doodle backhand flipper off the glass and into the Saginaw ends. Line change for the forwards coming for the Wolves. Kluche will just chip it in barely. Smith for Sudbury, the defenseman, back to Gonchar. 2 minutes gone in the third period just about. Gonchar slowly makes his way out of the Wolves' end. Now a quick up to Villeneuve, who will deflect it. It looked like he was going into the Saginaw end, but back come the Spirit into Wolves territory. Glavin a shot, blocker save for Leonard. Rebound was there too, and a good active stick for Brady Smith of the Wolves. And Hudson Martin will go forward now, skating it into the Saginaw zone. The Spirit are going to ice it, and so that should come back, and it will face off inside the Saginaw zone.
Yeah, Brady Smith showing some good patience there, as there were a couple of players up ahead who really wanted the puck. His teammates, one being Chase Coughlin, the other being Nate Villeneuve, but he didn't really have a great lane to make that pass. It likely would have been picked off, so he waited, ended up getting a kind of a dump-in deflection, and right away the Saginaw Spirit iced the puck, so an offensive zone face-off.
Face-off inside the Saginaw zone. Wolves had a chance to shoot. They took a swing at it. That was Coughlin, but fanned on it. All the way back is Smith for Sudbury, who eventually lobs it back into the Saginaw zone. Icing not called. Barch run in too hard by Ferran. Saginaw dancing out, led by Sima, and the Wolves find the loose puck. Ferran, cross-ice pass, was looking for Coughlin in front of the Saginaw net. Barch had a bit of a stare down at Coughlin after a late cross-check, but play continues. Harper waits. Opportunity. Shot comes, deflected to the side of the Sudbury net, and Coughlin will put it off the glass into the center line. Some quicker line changes now in this third period. 3 minutes has escaped already. 0-0. Clayton around the Sudbury net, along the boards, eventually to the center line. Barahowski chasing the play. Barahowski will leave it for Clayton around the Saginaw net. Weird bounce. In fact, it's going to come all the way back to the center line. Henderson dancing his way into the Saginaw zone. Rowan Henderson gets hit hard, and that stung him a little bit, but he'll stay in the play. Lads shot purposely wide off the pad of the goaltender Shurigan. Another shot by Barahowski that goes wide. Clayton back to the blue line. Hudson Martin will keep it in for the Wolves. Liam Lads to Clayton. Clayton going back to Lads. Lads loves to shoot if he can, and he does this one purposely wide, but it's blocked by Sima. Sima, formerly a North Bay Battalion. Sima's going to go off for a line change for Saginaw, and look out, the Wolves. Bit of a fumbled play in their own end of things. Saginaw will just barely keep it in, not for long, as it's taken over by Lads again of Sudbury. Lads to Chauvin. Jan Chauvin right back onto the stick of Shurigan, the goaltender for Saginaw. And the Spirit will send it up to the center ice area. Barabanov gliding his way into the Sudbury zone. 15 and a half to go in the third period, tied up at 0. Walton 1-on-3. He just lobs it to the side of the Saginaw net. Graydon Jones for the Spirit to the center ice area. Barabanov was waiting, and he gets run in too hard. Look out. A bit of a dangerous collision in front of the Sudbury bench between Barabanov and Hudson Chitteroni, and they don't even really look at each other, but no arm in the air out either.
Yeah, and the referees have let the two teams play, which is great in a 0-0 hockey game. Really don't want it to be decided by a power play. Ideally, someone wins it 5-on-5, or like we said off the top, we get to past minute 60 and into overtime.
Face off just outside of the Sudbury zone. Walton face to face with Carson Harmer. Draw one cleanly by the Winnipeg prospect Walton. Wolves get it to the center line, but Saginaw fires it right back in. Wolves have officially hit the 30-shot mark in this game. Wolves will skate it back in their own end just to get things sorted out a little bit more defensively. Eventually into Saginaw's zone. Icing is going to be waved off. Barnes for Saginaw wraps it around the boards, and the Spirit will be off to the races. A 3-on-2 rush developing. Harmer waits, wrister comes, and Leonard not needing to make a save. Wolves will come back with a rush of their own. Led by Walton, he can really fly. Right down the wing he goes. Walton in behind the Saginaw net. It's a weird bounce. Coughlin, backhand shot. It goes wide. Alex Ferran back to the blue line. One-time shot by Walton. Stick save for the goaltender Shurigan, and a rebound was there. And Shurigan will pick it up as well.
A couple of pretty good chances there. The Wolves getting more pucks on net. Maybe not enough traffic in that particular instance as they show the collision of the game. A big hit by Chase Coughlin along the far boards inside the Saginaw zone earlier in the game. And Chase Coughlin has definitely been at his best tonight, being a pest out there and also creating some offense for the Sudbury Wolves.
Face off inside the Saginaw zone, won by Sudbury. Shot from Ferran, trickles in front of the Saginaw net. No save needed by the goaltender. Now Rauscha for the Spirit will fire it into the Wolves' ends. Caught by the midsection of Ferran, who then throws his body into the Saginaw player as well. Lads back there with Coughlin. Wolves trying to poke it free and be off for a rush. Villeneuve up to Ferran. Alex Ferran has a stick lifted by James Go. Go will wire it around the boards up to Rauscha. Rauscha has his stick lifted neatly, but gets the puck right back inside the Wolves' end. And credit to young Hudson Martin for playing his man as well. A little back check there. Otherwise, it was going to be a miniature breakaway inside the Wolves' end. Puck right back inside the Saginaw zone. 13.5 minutes to go in the third. The Spirit break into the Wolves' end. Another shot comes deflected high into the far corner. Barahowski back to help out defensively with Blake Clayton. Few bodies collide in the boards, and Yules will glide his way across the center line. 0-0. Yules cross-ice pass. Clayton was wide open. However, it was a good read by the Saginaw defender. Clayton back to his own defenseman, Smith. Smith, slap pass. And that's going to be an icing call. I think that Smith wanted Clayton to kind of spring into the Saginaw zone and beat out the defenseman, but Clayton did not see that pass coming at all.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he had in mind there, but a bit of a broken play, and as a result, it'll be a face-off inside the Sudbury zone. We get a stoppage in play here. Running out of time here, 12 minutes and 57 seconds. Still a scoreless hockey game, and the Wolves have definitely had plenty of chances. I would suggest to you tonight that, last night it was Artem Gonchar who had 2 goals for the Wolves. He was the only star on the Sudbury side in a loss. Yeah. And I would suggest that he probably has had a better game tonight than he had last night, to be honest. An all-round game. He scored last night, but his defensive game has been great tonight. And last night, boy, you could count on one hand players that you might say had a good game for the Sudbury Wolves. And tonight, I don't think you'd even get a full hand of players that haven't had a good game.
Yeah.
There's just been a lot of great efforts from a lot of people, but it hasn't translated into a goal just yet.
So face off inside the Sudbury zone. Draw is going to be won by the Wolves. Yules putting it off the glass and all the way out, not taking an icing. As Valeris back for Saginaw. He hands it off to Levi Harper, ranked number 4 among defensemen in the Ontario Hockey League. Also number 3 among rookie scorers in the OHL, and he's a defenseman. Speaking of Gonchar, cycling it around inside the Wolves' ends. Getting things set up with Lads. Lads, a stretch pass to Clayton, who gets hit hard in along the boards. Anderson back to play his man as well. Lads off the boards to Clayton. Clayton right back to Lads in behind the Sudbury net. Gonchar looks both directions, finds Henderson. Henderson to the center line area, picked up by Sema. Sema's shot, good glove save made by Owen Leonard, and we had a Saginaw skater trip over the stick of Liam Lads, and Lads has a conversation with Nick Sema as a little bit more rough stuff develops, and the referee step in right away. This is not the time when you want to take a penalty, that's for sure. Almost at the halfway mark of the third period, Lads and Sema continue to have that conversation, and they separate.
Penalties off the play, and probably for the best. A nice stop there by the goaltender Owen Leonard as not a great scoring chance, an off-wing sort of snapshot, but good anticipation. He knew the player would most likely be trying to go far side and had that glove up and ready and was able to take it out of harm's way.
Well, the puck had dropped right to the side of Owen Leonard, and the referee said, no, we got to do this all over again. Barabanov face-to-face with the captain, Nate Villeneuve. Won cleanly by Saginaw. Go at the blue line. Rister comes. It deflected last second. Leonard was on it. Back to the blue line. Go. Waits. Toe drag move. Pushes it into the corner. Go being worked on by Chitteroni. Go still has the puck. Cross-ice feed. As Saginaw controlling the play right now. Barabanov waits. Cuts across the middle. Barabanov stick lifted, and a penalty is coming against Sudbury, as the Spirit are going to be going on the power play after this game has had not a whole lot of penalties called. Saginaw, extra attacker, is out. They've got control inside the Wolves' end. Go at the outside. Cross-ice pass. And it's going to be a race for the puck as Villeneuve touches up. And we are indeed going to have a Saginaw power play. Saginaw's power play, 12th in the Ontario Hockey League, and Sudbury's PK right in the middle, sitting at 9th.
Yeah, tough one for the Wolves. It's in the old days, Coop, that was a stick lift. In the new game of hockey, if your stick comes up that shaft of the opponent's stick and touches his gloves, it's called interference or hooking or whatever you want to call it. So unfortunately for the Wolves, they got to kill one here.
Big kill. Hudson Martin is the one in the box for Sudbury. And Saginaw set up on the power play. Zhilkin back to the blue line. Harper to Zhilkin, cutting across. Some quick passes by this power play unit to the side of the Sudbury net. Here they come. Shot comes. One-time opportunity. Goes wide of the net, but kept in the zone by Saginaw. Harper at the blue line. Harper gets it again. Loves to shoot. He's being watched carefully by Henderson. Saginaw doing a good job moving it around, and Henderson active stick. Opportunity for a shot from Saginaw. It goes wide. Loose puck is there. Brady Smith for Sudbury. Approaching the halfway mark of the third period. Liam Lads dumps his man in the corner boards, but Wolves unable to clear. Now they finally do, and the penalty killers will change up completely for Sudbury. Saginaw out to play the puck as Theron will steal. Handing off to Coughlin. Coughlin firing it into the Saginaw zone. He looks skyward as it did not really get that far. Here's Saginaw back the other way. Gervais a shot, and he scores. First goal of the game on the power play is for the Saginaw Spirit, and I believe it's going to be Sebastian Gervais, and it is a 1-0 lead, and that is definitely a stinger for the fans here at the Sudbury Community Arena.
Yeah, just a quick pass across on the left side, and Gervais got rid of it pretty quickly. A wrist shot that beats Owen Leonard up high just under the bar on the short side, and that's a 1-0 lead for Saginaw. Still half a period to go. 9:59 remaining on the clock, so the Wolves down 1 and will have to find their way back into this one.
That'll be goal number 4 of the season for Gervais, as Owen Leonard has had a heck of a game for Sudbury tonight, and that one just beats him up top, shoulder side.
I mean, a perfect shot, really, right under the bar.
Great shot by Gervais. Give credit where credit is due, right? Play continues. Finally, the first goal of the game. It's 1-0. Puck will be fired into the Saginaw zone, and I believe it was an icing call.
Yeah, it's an icing call. Hudson Chitteroni, to his credit, really hustling, trying to negate that icing, and he almost had position on the Saginaw defenseman Glavin, but not quite enough. Glavin was on the inside, and as a result, it's an icing call against Sudbury.
So Zhilkin and Barabanov picking up the assists on the only goal so far of the game, a power play marker from Gervais. His 4th of the regular season. Face off inside the Sudbury zone on this Sudbury Saturday night. Face off is won by the Wolves. Ewells will put it off the glass and out. Chitteroni going the distance, burst of speed. Chitteroni's shot comes, nice pad save for Shurigan. Off the boards, and the other direction comes the Spirit. Saginaw, Rauscha Around the boards, Cloutier is going to be met by Villeneuve, who takes a run at Cloutier. Jones at the side. Opportunity in the middle for Harper. Harper will wait. He'll take a shot, going for that top shelf as well. And that time, it was a blocker save for young Owen Leonard. Saginaw quickly up for Harper at the red line. Harper will just leave it, and it's going to be an offside call. As good on young Rowan Henderson for stepping in, because Nate Villeneuve looked like he wanted a piece of Cloutier, and Henderson just kind of stood in front of Villeneuve to say, no thanks, we don't need any penalties at this point in the game.
Yeah, that's he wears an A on his jersey for a reason, and a very cerebral type player in Rowan Henderson, who plays the game hard, plays it right, and pretty much does the right thing in most situations.
Play continues inside the Sudbury zone. Wolves coughed it up, a shot for Saginaw. They nearly made it 2-0 right there with under 9 minutes left. And they are swarming inside the Sudbury zone all of a sudden. Shots 33 for Sudbury, 21 for the Spirit. Saginaw, a chance, poke check, and where is it? In the crease perhaps. Leonard is there. We got bodies flying around too. And I'm not sure where the puck is, but there's bodies everywhere flying around, and now we're going to get some pushing and shoving as Owen Leonard has found the puck.
Somehow the puck was under Owen Leonard with bodies flying around everywhere around him.
I don't know how that stayed out, to be honest with you. I do not know how that stayed out. You almost wonder if they'll take a look at it just to make sure. Leonard's got it in his trapper right now to say, I've got it.
Well, when he got up, it was directly under him, so I presume it must have been there the whole time, although Saginaw looked like they were definitely feasting for a loose puck.
Referee looking at the head coach of the Saginaw Spirit, Chris Lazari, saying, do you want to take a look at it? And he kind of did a, no, we're good. So it stays at 1-0. Big save for Owen Leonard. A swarm of players around his net, and play continues with 8:38 to go in the third period. Face-off won by Sudbury, and Hudson Martin's going to lob at the distance, and that's going to be an icing call against Sudbury again. Martin kind of shaking his head to himself, because that means a face-off comes back inside the Wolves' end again.
Yeah, not where you want to be with 8:32 to go in the third period. Regulation time, 1-0 Saginaw leads, and Sudbury's going to have to dig deep and find a way to beat a goaltender who has been on fire so far tonight.
Face-off won by Sudbury, and Gavin Ewells put it. It went out, went off the glass first, I believe, then out.
Yeah, the referee right away giving that sort of slide clap signal. I don't know if that's a thing. I just made that up.
That sounds very technical.
You know, whatever it looks like, it went off the glass and over the glass.
I like the technical terminology. The slide clap.
Slide clap.
Play continues in the Wolves' end. The Saginaw player had a chance to shoot, but he just tripped over the blue line. Wolves come back with a rush of their own. Chauvin has got Coughlin in front of the net. Chauvin hit hard in behind, and Coughlin comes back to help him out. Theron, Chauvin, right in behind the Saginaw net. Wolves are grinding. They've actually had a heck of a game here tonight, just unable to beat Shurigan so far with 8 minutes left to go in the third period. A night and day different team than what we saw 24 hours ago here at the Sudbury Community Arena. Wolves have full control right now inside their own end. Ewells with Martin. Ewells a quick up to Alex Ferran. Stretch pass. Coughlin is standing there. Now Coughlin a chance in front. Backhander, and he bails. Close call for Chase Coughlin. Made a little something out of nothing, and Saginaw will come back the other way. Barabanov a shot and a good glove save for Owen Leonard. My goodness. Coughlin frustrated with himself as it looked like an innocent play, and all of a sudden sprung on a partial breakaway.
Yeah, he just didn't have a lot of room to work with, and as a result, Shurigan, who's had a phenomenal game, saw it and just kind of reached out, maybe to poke check with the blade of his stick, but really what happened is the puck went toward him and he shooted away into the corner. And good chance for Chase Coughlin, and the Wolves need to keep creating.
Face off inside the Sudbury zone. That draw is going to be won by the Wolves. Gonchar over the Lads. And, you know, we did see a few of those situations last night as well, where the Wolves were just so close. So very close.
Snake bit for sure right now.
Wolves right back and they go to the Saginaw zone. Pass across from Villeneuve, and that one eludes his line mates, Chitteroni. Saginaw will dump it in. And we got a whistle on the play. I believe maybe offside is the call.
I don't know, there was a horn going in the corner, and I almost wondered if it was the arena signaling to stop the play, but no, it's just a fan having some fun with some sort of a horn over there.
I've heard that a few times, actually.
It was loud that time.
It was incredibly loud. Face off inside the Saginaw zone. Won by Sudbury. Walton for the Wolves will put it around the Saginaw net. Villeneuve is on it. Pass out in front, goes back to the blue line. Lads, cross-ice shot comes. Gonchar did not get as much on that slapper as he wanted to. Save made by Shurigan nonetheless. Villeneuve cutting across. He'll drop for Lads at the blue line. Lads, a shot, and it's deflected into the corner. Walton looking back to the blue line, looking for some help. Gets it to Gonchar. Gonchar pass out in front, and the Spirit look out. They fire it into their own bench, and Nick Sema upset with himself as the entire bench had to duck for cover. And shout out to Dan, who's the voice in our ear tonight. He said it's apparently a group of Saginaw Spirit fans who are in the building, blowing the horns.
Well, as long as they're having fun.
That's a long road trip for fans.
Well, that's a long one, yeah. As long as they're having fun, that's a good thing.
Those are some committed fans.
I think we just want to make sure that I'm pretty sure the Sudbury Wolves would like to see them go home unhappy.
That's right. That's right.
Have fun while you're here. Let's make this a comeback win.
6:20 to go. Shot right after a face-off win, and another save for Shurigan. Shot number 35 of the game for Sudbury. Unable yet to get the puck past that goaltender.
Yeah, 35 shots, no goals tonight. 39 shots in Barrie on Thursday, 1 goal. You almost wonder, like, does he get the start again tomorrow afternoon at 3 in North Bay? The way he's played, it'd be pretty hard to take the net away from him.
Well, Caleb Papineau is the backup goaltender. I'm sure he would love the opportunity tomorrow in North Bay as the play continues inside the Sudbury zone, or the Saginaw zone, sorry. Wolves came close after a shot on net. 6 minutes left. Wolves are pressing. They've played well. Another shot by Chauvin. That one goes wide. Picked up at the blue line. Kept inside by the Wolves. Saginaw. They're going to skate it out, but not too far. Yules drops for Chauvin. Wrister deflected. Yules now in behind. Another shot out in front. Ferran, a rebound, and we got some pushing in front, shoving in front of the Saginaw net. Now Ferran mixing it up with, I believe it's Glavin. They're in the corner. As Chase Coughlin monitors the situation. And if you're either team right now, this is not when you want to take a penalty, that's for sure. 5:41 to go, and that was just some, just call it light extracurriculars after the whistle.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure, unless there are penalties, I'm not sure why the whistle was blown. The puck seemed free. It actually, they're showing the replay of that sequence where the puck went to the net. It actually ended up on the top. So you saw mesh. They bulged the twine. Unfortunately, it was on top of the net. And the Wolves were scrambling desperately to try to get it back down and put it in, but were unable to do that.
So the Wolves, unlike Saginaw, they do not play tomorrow. This is it for their weekends. They would love to come out of this building with a couple points tonight.
Yeah, even if you find a way in the last 5:41 to tie this one, even if you lost it in overtime or in a shootout, at least you'd feel like, you know, your efforts were warranted and you earned a point out of it.
Face off in the Saginaw zone, won by the Spirit, and Valeris will be off to the races in a hurry. All the way into the Wolves' ends. Clip off, cross ice to Barabanov. The Wolves are scrambling. Another shot and a good save there for Owen Leonard, who has really stood his ground tonight. Villeneuve at the center line. A drop pass for Ferrance, and another glove save made by Leonard, who thought about playing it. It's probably best that he held on, as a couple Saginaw skaters were standing right behind him.
Yeah, he had that instinct that someone was behind him, and as a result decided, I better hold on to this. You don't really want that defensive zone face-off with 5 minutes to go and down a goal, but the right play was made.
Face-off inside the Wolves' end. A little over 5 to go in the third period. Wolves need 1. But Shurigan has definitely made that task difficult here tonight at the Sudbury Arena. Wolves inside the Saginaw zone. Rister comes, deflected into the pad zone of Shurigan. And the Wolves are, the other thing I've noticed that they're doing a lot better tonight than what we saw yesterday is getting traffic in front of the net.
Yeah, getting traffic to the net and getting pucks to the net. And we've talked about it all weekend, Coop, but the hockey gods are being really tough on this team. That puck floated through, the goalie didn't see it at all. It bounced in front of the net and right at him, and he was able to corral it and hold on. Yeah. You just need one of those to drop in for this Sudbury Wolves team that is trying desperately to get out of a 7-game losing skid.
Face off in the Saginaw zone, and there's a mad scramble for the puck right over the face-off dot. Eventually picked up by the Spirit. Saginaw lobbing it into the Wolves' end. Gonchar, forward pass, and Saginaw nearly putting themselves offside. Wolves will pass it around in their own ends. Villeneuve at the center line. Dropping for Chitteroni. Chitteroni for Sudbury. Around the Saginaw net. Looking for a man open. Finds Walton. Walton will wait. He'll get a shot off, and it's blocked. Villeneuve was causing some havoc in front of the Saginaw net as well. But the shot never made it that far. Cloutier dancing his way into the Sudbury zone. Cloutier back to the blue line. Harper will poke it forward with 4:15 to go in the third period. The clock becoming a little bit of an enemy as well for the Sudbury Wolves now. The only goal of the game coming from Gervais. A power play goal earlier in this period from Zhilkin and Barabanov. Here's another shot and a slapper blocker save for Leonard that time. Puck still inside the Wolves' end. Villeneuve. Slow skate around the Sudbury net. Bit of a change happening for the Wolves. Some new forwards step on. And Sudbury will move it out. Faran, hometown kid, trying to get some heroics going here as he somehow ended up with a second stick and throws a big hit in the process. And we're going to get a penalty on the play.
Yeah, Ferrand took the stick of the defender with him along the boards. And I think it's the Saginaw player that's going to get a hooking call.
So, huge. This is a monstrous power play for the Sudbury Wolves as it's going to be Carson Harmer off into the box for the Spirit. A huge, and it's been a game where we have not seen a whole lot of penalties. So with 3.5 to go, you've at least got to have a good power play here. You got to get some traction to the net.
Yeah, I mean you're down to 3:33 to go, so pretty much it's a 2-minute power play and a minute 33 of 5-on-4 if they don't even try a 6-on-4 situation toward the end of this penalty.
Face off in the Saginaw zone, won by Sudbury. First step, win the draw. They did that. Controlling the power play, and Villeneuve looked like he kind of lost sight of where the blue line was and went back across. So now the Wolves are back in their own territory. Gonchar will move it forward. Barahowski across the red line to Villeneuve, who will just drop it around the Saginaw net. Sudbury now just trying to get set up again on the power play. Spirit trying to clear it, and it's stolen by Walton. Kieran Walton right back to the blue line. Gonchar cross ice to Villeneuve. Villeneuve moves it, waits, wanted to shoot, couldn't. Back to Walton. Walton dancing around, back to the blue line. Fans are calling to shoot. Gonchar cross ice to Villeneuve. He waits. He does not shoot. Goes back to Gonchar at the blue line. Gonchar drop pass for Walton. Walton will fire a pass across, and Villeneuve with a one-timer. Couldn't get it on net. Walton picking up the loose puck. Walton back to the blue line, kicked in by Gonchar, close call. Gonchar waits, Rister coming, deflected in front, rebound is there. Saginaw just trying to exit the zone. They've got the puck, but the Wolves are pressing with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third period. Owen Leonard is thinking. He's waiting for the call from the bench. 30 seconds left in the power play. Puck moving around. Walton another shot, and that one goes wide. Villeneuve keeping the puck in. Extra attackers on. Villeneuve, wind-up slapper. Rebound is there. Another shot for Chitteroni, and that one's deflected wide. Puck still inside the Saginaw zone. Villeneuve to Walton. Back to Villeneuve. Another shot. Pad save for Shurigan. Gonchar in deep. Back to the blue line. Villeneuve. He can't shoot. Hands it off to Walton. Walton waits. Out in front. They score! Sudbury scores! And the fans have erupted at the Sudbury Community Arena. Some intense seconds as Hudson Chitteroni had the puck at the side of the net. Goaltender is down. All he's got to do is put that behind the goaltender's pad. Makes no mistake. And there we go, a minute and a half left. We got a tie game.
Usually you want the player to unload it quickly, but in that case, Hudson Chitteroni doesn't have a heartbeat. The kid was so calm in that situation, and it was the right play. It was make sure you put that in the net. Don't fire it over. Don't hit a post. Put it in the open net, and he was able to do that. I think, Brian, you deserve the opportunity to call that after this game. The way it's gone, the Wolves deserve the goal. I think the coaching staff deserved the goal. Maybe even the water tower deserved the goal there.
That water tower is lit up in red right now in Sudbury. A tie game with a minute 20 left. And these fans have got some life. 1-1.
I'm remiss not to say our hard-working crew as well, that they deserve the goal.
Absolutely.
Everybody's in on the action.
1-1 late in regulation, and we are at the final minute of play in the third period. Puck is inside the Saginaw zone. Wolves are pressing. Clayton, little drop pass back to the blue line. Ewell is forced to come back to the red line. Puck takes a wicked bounce off the glass, and Coughlin with a gift. Coughlin, a shot! It goes off the goalpost! They come so close. All the way back into the Wolves zone, and the fans just went nuts thinking that might have gone in. Well, you could hear it ring off the iron. 30 seconds to go in regulation. Saginaw trying to break loose, and a steal again for Coughlin. In alone, Coughlin, he scores! Oh my goodness! With 25 seconds left on the clock. My word! Chase Coughlin given an absolute gift, and the Wolves take the lead.
He got the gift and he buried the goal, and this place absolutely erupted. It's not the same crowd that was here on a Friday night. It was a jam-packed arena last night. It's a pretty good crowd here tonight, but I mean, energy, I'm telling you, they just erupted on that goal. And you could just feel the tension, the pressure, the frustration, the way the last couple of games have gone at home. This one, everybody in the building knew the Wolves deserved to at least get it to overtime, and now they have a chance to win it with 25.9 to go.
Fans are on their feet, 25 seconds to go. Shurigan's probably going to go scooting his way to the Saginaw bench, assuming Saginaw wins the draw, and he does. Shurigan's gone. Extra attackers out for Saginaw. 20 seconds to go in regulation. Fans are on their feet at the Sudbury Arena, looking to erase a 7-game losing streak. And the puck comes out of the Sudbury zone. Fans are getting louder. 10 seconds to go. Final second. Saginaw looking for one more shot maybe. And the puck is unable to stay in the Sudbury zone. Wrister comes. It's going to be a win. Owen Leonard. That's right. You can celebrate that one. It is a Sudbury Wolves win. Desperation in the last few seconds. Oh my goodness me. And the fans, a true Sudbury Saturday night. Man, some last minute drama.
Well, we talked about it before the game and during the game. Like, this is a team that just has to play hard. This crowd in this city, in this building, will always respond to a team that gives you 100% effort. It doesn't matter if you're young, if you don't have the experience, if maybe you don't have the skill of the opponent, whatever it is. If you play hard, this team will respond. And everybody in the building knew this was a team that deserved a better result than what they'd had to that point in the hockey game. I mean, I'm not going to say I feel for the goalie on the other side, but you know what? He played a phenomenal game, was tremendous from start to finish. It ends up being 40 shots on goal for Jurgen, and I think it's the last 2 that went in. Just an incredible sequence as Hudson Chitteroni ties it, and Chase Coughlin, with his 7th of the season, puts the Wolves on top with 25.9 seconds to go, and they hold on for the victory.
I was going to say, you feel for Shurigan, as he was a little distraught after that first one went in. And then the second one, which was, again, just a really weird sequence. The puck took a couple weird bounces. Coughlin goes in, gets an absolute gift, hits the post, and then a few seconds later given another gift. Walks in, does not miss that one.
And a gift in the sense that, you know, it wasn't like Saginaw made horrible plays. I think the puck just hit things, and maybe it's finally the hockey gods going, all right, fine.
We'll give you
fine. You deserve it now, and we'll give you that break you need to end a 7-game losing streak.
So, like I said, you feel for Shurigan because he had a heck of a game, 40 shots on net. But then I will say on the opposite side of things, the celebration on the Wolves bench with young 16-year-old Owen Leonard, who picks up his 2nd win this season. The smile on Leonard's face as he was skating off the ice was quite something. So they're just announcing the 3-star selection, and I'm curious, as we're going to hang out with you for the 3-star selection on this one as well. And so I believe they're giving the 3rd star selection to Shurigan. Owen Leonard picking up his 2nd win, still smiling ear to ear. Picks up 2nd star here tonight, much deserved.
25 of 26 for Owen Leonard.
So Owen Leonard, 2nd star, and you gotta expect Chase Coughlin. There it is. Chase Coughlin picks up 1st star, and he gives a big salute to the faithful crowd here who are still on their feet at the Sudbury Community Arena. What a crazy game. Back and forth, back and forth. First period, no scoring. Second period, no scoring. The shots were 27-16 after 2 periods of play. And then the fans were quieted a little bit on a Sudbury Saturday night after Gervais scored a power play marker. Just a really good wrist shot that beat Leonard up high over his shoulder. A power play goal from Zhilkin and Barabanov. And, you know, fans at that point were starting to think, oh boy, is this skid going to be extended to 8 games? You kind of enter the last 10 minutes of the game. And then, Jeff, we get to the last minute 20. And things just kind of happened. Hudson Chitteroni, his 4th. You said you thought he maybe looked a little shaky last night coming back into the lineup after an injury. He ends up getting a huge goal, his 4th of the season. Kieran Walton, Nate Villeneuve pick up the assists on that one, and then the Chase Coughlin goal in the final minute of action with 25 seconds remaining. Come on. That's just drama that we all love.
Yeah, I don't think you can script it any better. Chitteroni coming back in this weekend and gets that huge goal with, like I said, didn't have a pulse, just patient as all get out, and puts it in the open net to tie the game with 1:34 to go. And then Chase Coughlin, who, you know, started on the 4th line last night, a little bit of discipline from something that had happened the game previous, but his effort tonight was unreal from start to finish. He was doing exactly what Chase Coughlin needs to do on a regular basis, which is be gritty and tough and difficult to play against, but also find ways to contribute to the offense. And here he goes ahead and scores the game winner with 25.9 seconds to go.
Whew, we can all catch our breath. Fans are leaving the Sudbury Arena happy on this Sudbury Saturday night. Final score, Sudbury 2, Saginaw 1, and the Spirit head off to North Bay tomorrow afternoon to face the Battalion starting at 3 o'clock. Jeff, I wanted to say as well, I know you covered last night. It's a pleasure doing the game with you yesterday. It's been a ton of fun covering with you again today. We appreciate your help. I know you helped out with us a few games ago and earlier in the season too when we were in a bit of a pinch, so shout out to you. I know that this is a lot of fun for you, but man, it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been great. Enjoyed it.
Awesome. On behalf of Jeff Giffen, all the amazing crew who work behind the scenes, including Dan, who's been in our ear all night long. Shout out to you, Dan. We say thank you so much for tuning into Wolves hockey. Wolves win. Final score 2-1 over Saginaw. Have a good night.